Hey guys, so on this particular video series we're going to go over a couple of private domain vendors where you can skip bidding on auctions when you use something like Register Compass, and I'll get to that in the videos that are coming soon. You can go through and find domains on the different auction sites like GoDaddy, etc. But one way just to go straight in, and this is, by the way guys, this is a much faster way of getting, blog networks up there and getting high PR sites built so that you can use them to link to money sites and so on. This is the quickest way to do it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the best though, and I'm going to show you the way to do it for much lower cost as well by using the auctions. But the only problem with that is that there is a delay. Sometimes you may have to wait 5 days, 6 days, sometimes even 7 days or more to get the domain that you want, and then you have to obviously bid through it and win the auction. Normally it's pretty straightforward, but we'll cover all that as well. But I just wanted to get a video up on private domain vendors and the ones that I've used in the past and the ones that I use now. Alright, now one of the sites is called poncom, and what this is it's basically a private vendor where the person who runs this is called David, right? And he's a French guy, but he speaks really good English. So the only problem with it is that the site is in French. But with that being said, because he's on Skype and he supports everybody, the people who buy domains on here, it's no problem to use this one. So what we would use this for is to get base sites, right? Potential money sites as well, and sites and sidestep sites, right? So what a base site would be, right, is basically a site that has really high authority, and it's a site that we can use to potentially power up a couple of other sidestep sites and just the initial base site to help really get our rank, our money site some authority right from the off. So what we would do is we would have a look for something on here which we would use as one of our base sites. Now I normally have a couple of base sites. I use these to power up a couple of sidestep sites on each base domain, and I normally power up the domain as well. But what I'm starting to do is I'm actually starting to buy a money site which has already got authority, because when I do that I'm able to rank much quicker, and the age factor is already there and it's already got lots of authority, so I can just start sending new health related themed links if I'm in the health niche, for example, and I can do it at a much a much larger degree, because the chances are that you're not going to get penalized even if you send us home links, because it's already got tons of authority and age in place. Whereas if you were to do that on a new domain, obviously there's a chance that you can get penalized and you've got to wait for it to age. So the best way to work niche site formula now, if you can, is to buy a domain name, a money site that already has authority. But I'm going to get to that, and that's going to be on a dedicated video anyhow. But for now, what I would do for a base site, if I wanted to buy one of a private vendor, I'll just look for one, which has good authority, good PR. Now these are all PR5s, okay? I would look on here to see the kind of the kind of links and what PR they are going to the sites, and I would just go through on Majestic SEO as well, just to make sure that the links are decent, they're not spammy links. And I would want to see what kind of sites the links are on and whether or not I think they would last a long time or not, because generally I don't really send much more links to the base sites. I just have them as the authority, and they normally stay authoritative for a long time. And I basically use these to help power up sidestep sites which are lesser PR, perhaps PR1s or PR2s. So it's important that you get a good base site. You can get a really good site, for example, here's one that I've been looking at, and I'll probably pick this one up here. But if you notice the price, if you haven't got much money, $574 is quite a lot. It's probably worth getting because it's got such authority. But with that being said, it is really expensive if you start now, probably too much so. But I'm going to show you the low cost way how you can get a domain just as authoritative as this. Perhaps it may not be as authoritative on the PR, but it'll have just as good a good amount of links, and good links, using Register Compass and bidding for it. So don't be put off. You can get really cheap domains exactly the same, and you can do it at a much lower cost than most people know about as well. So I'm going to cover all that as well. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to load this domain up in Google, and I just want to make sure that it's not penalized. Okay, that would be the first thing that I would do. So I'll look at the domain name. Yeah, it's okay there. And then what I would do is I would just load up Majestic SEO. So we know the routine. I've been all over it, but I just want to kind of go over it again for what I would do for a base site. Now remember, a base site, what I mean by a base site is the site, your core site, which is really going to help give authority to a few more sites, sidestep sites, and it's also going to give that nice extra authority if you're already buying a domain that has authority, or a real big authoritative boost to a domain name where you've got your money site on. Okay, so these are really important sites, the base sites. You're looking to pay anything from 50 bucks to 500 plus bucks for a really good base domain if you're using private domain vendors. Again, I'll show you how to do this the lower cost way, but I wanted to cover private domain vendors as well. Okay, because some guys out there, like some students, might have some money and, well, you know, you just want to get straight into it and buy some domains off private vendors and stop messing about with the auctions. This is, I use these private vendors a lot, so I'm gonna, you know, I want to go over that in this video. So this one, guys, looks good because it's got a good trust flow and it's got good citation flow. And if you notice here, the dots are really strong, and I like to see that on a base site. Here, I'm normally concerned, I like to see a ratio here, but what you'll find on these type of sites is they've normally got tons and tons of site-wide links, so that's probably the reason why the ratio is way out of sync there. It's not always 100%, guys, so keep that in mind, but this is why you need to do the research. This is why we have to have Majestic SEO or a tool like that. What you would do is you just have a look at the anchor text as well, just to make sure that there's no major spam going on there offsite. As you can see, there's a lot of brand there, empty anchor text, which could be like images, probably is images, you know, that's what empty anchor text normally is. And you've got brand links, just tons of brand links. Then we've got loads of different kinds of anchor text, but there's nothing in there. I mean, like, yeah, there's image pic, there's nothing in there to say that this site was SEO'd or there's any kind of abuse there on the back end. So we'll go back to summary. What I really want to do is just show what I kind of look for backlinks. I want to kind of make sure that the links that sites are on look like they're going to stay there for a long time, and they're on a good authoritative sites as well. So I would have a look at here, and I would just, you can see the trust flow there is good as well, which is important. I mean, you've even got some 50s there, which is really good. But anyhow, back to that, I would just load that up, and I would just have a little look to see if the link's still live. Obviously very important. And I'm guessing this one is an image link because it didn't have alt text, and I can see off the top of my head there. So yeah, that's a really strong link on a really strong page. You know, a pale domain. It's a very authoritative domain. It's got a lot of trust flow, and it doesn't look like it's going to go down anytime soon. When you see image links, it's rare that these tend to get taken down. So keep that in mind. This would be a really good base site. And yeah, I'll probably go ahead and buy this for myself, to be honest, but I'm just showing you the kind of things that I look for. Again, we just have a look at a few of them, you know, it's a few of the really good links, and we just kind of get an idea to see. We'll load this one up. Here we are. You see it's a legitimate page. You don't want to see like crappy profile links and comment links, all that. Stay away from them for your strong base sites, guys, and stay away from them on sidestep sites as well, but we'll get to all that, alright? But you know, the anchor text here, it says it's EBTN, so I'm going to look for something like that. I'm going to load it up, and I'm just gonna have a quick look. I mean, I'm not saying that the links are going to be live on all of the sites, so this is why you need to have a look. And there again, it looks like it's another image link, and there it is there. So it's not actually, it's not. You go on there this is still a text link, guys. Alright, so just keep that in mind. If you see an image and you see anything like that, it's classed as a text link. So this isn't an image link, but anyhow, you know, it's a branded link, and again, it's on an authoritative domain. It doesn't look like that's going to come down anytime soon. And what you would do is you go through, say, 10-20 links, and just make sure that the links on the authoritative sites, the ones with the big trust flow, don't look like they're going to come down anytime soon. All right, that's what you would do. I mean, some of these domains are really good, and this looks like it's a really good domain to get as a base site. So I'm pleased I've got this example, but I'll just have a look on here and just see. I'm guessing this would be an image link as well. Might not be on, you know, this, but there it is. There it is. It's still on there. So you know, these I've been doing this a long time, guys, 8 years, and I've never really seen these types of image links just removed, even when I've completely changed the sites. I'm not saying that they'll all stay. And this is why you need to do your research, because a lot of the time some of the links will get taken down, and then you've got to send more new, send new links to your base sites and your sidestep sites. But if you do your research well, like what I'm doing now, you'll find you'll get a really good base domain, and you won't have to send your links to it, because this will keep its authority based on the current links going to it. And you know, you use a bit of common sense to say whether you think they'll stay up for a while or not. You'll get a gem which will just power up loads of stuff for you long term, so just keep this in mind. Just going to see how we're doing for time, because I've 10 minutes, that's alright. Don't want to go on too long, because for some reason my recording software is not saving them when I'm going over like 20-25 minutes, so I need to be careful there. Right, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to give you the affiliate link for the domain vendor for this one here. This is David. He's you know, he's a nice guy. He's not super friendly, but at the end of the day, you don't have to have someone who's super friendly. But what he does is he answers you with no bullshit, and he services you in the way you need to be serviced. You're not going to get a huge, massive conversation out of him, but you know, you're in this to make some money, and it's a business. You know, it doesn't matter if you don't make friends with everybody. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but you know, he's not someone who I sit down and have huge conversations with, like some of the people that I do meet and get on really well with. But anyhow, that being said, you can see this on Skype, right? And you can see if I've got a problem, like on one of the registrars, it was in French. And the thing is, you can use Google Chrome as well, and it'll just translate to English if you ever got that problem. Most of the registrars what you use for domains.poncom or .com are English anyhow, guys. So this is only a minor thing. Like if you buy a .fr domain, it's sometimes a little bit more complicated, and you'll need to have David on Skype, but all the details are on the site anyway. And you can see there, I wanted to know what this meant here. Obviously I don't speak French, and I couldn't be tutored to find it on the translator, so I just texted him quickly on here. And he said everything went through fine, and you'll have the domain in a short time. And then there was an issue I had with private whois, I couldn't say it, and he basically informed that that'll come up soon, and I'll be able to put it as private whois, which is very, very important that you either use private whois or different domain names on your base sites and your sidestep sites. Obviously, I don't have to go into that, that's just common sense. Right, okay, and another important thing which I don't hear much people talking about is everybody saying go to GoDaddy, register at GoDaddy, use the same registrars. That's not the smartest way to do this actually. The best thing to do is to use a multiple. I've got about 50 to 100 different registrars that I use on some of my networks, so not only are the names different, not only are the name servers different, not only are the unique IPs different, the registrars are different as well, which just looks completely natural, and it's a much smarter way to do it. So you can see I've got a few loaded up, which I'm in the middle of setting up a new network with Lang right now. As you can see, I'm just going through, and you can see there's loads. I'm already in the process of sorting some name servers out, you see. Another one which you've probably heard about as well if you've been following anything about building blog networks on blogs and stuff where they go over the basics, is probably this one here, TB Solutions. Now this is a really good private domain vendor for picking up really authoritative base domains, but the problem I have with these guys is they're really expensive. Like, let's just go to PR5s, and you can see, I mean, you're looking at a lot of money. The cheapest there is $550. But with that being said, these guys are really good. I mean, they know what they're doing. They know how to look for authoritative domains, and they check all the backlinks to tell you whether the sites are in English. Another thing, just going back to this one, if you click on the domain on Pioneer, it gives you a list of all the links as well, so you can actually have a look, make sure links are still live on all the pages, which is really cool. And then it'll give a breakdown of, there's a 1 PR6, 1 PR5, 4 PR5s, 148 PR4s, which is really good. Obviously some of these might be site-wide, keep that in mind. 553 PR-1, PR0. Don't worry too much about that, it just, it's still helpful, it's still going to give you some juice. Obviously you wouldn't want your base site PR, with tons of PR-1s, link it to it, but don't think that that's not send any link to your server, because it still is, so just keep that in mind as well. I'm just going to close that down, go back to here, and this, as you can see guys, it is a good site if you've got the funds, but it's more expensive. So let's just say we want to get some PR1s, which are still good, as long as they've got lots of backlinks in here, you're still looking at, minimum there, but that one's probably crap, and as Chinese wouldn't be any good. Europe ones are okay, Romanian ones are normally okay, to be honest, but 60 to 400 top max, hitting 500 for PR1, which is again quite expensive. Yes, saves time, saves you bidding around, and it is a good private vendor to use, but just know that you're going to need some funds if you want to get some domains off these guys. Same goes for PR Nator, but the reason why I prefer PR Nator over TB Solutions is because it's a lot cheaper. Like, let's look at the difference here. Let's pull up the PR5s here, right, and then I'm going to pull them up on this side here. just to compare. You can see you're looking at, you know, there's one there, that one's crazy, $4,000. Probably immense authority though. If you could afford it, it wouldn't even be a bad idea getting it, but you can do this a lot cheaper. I wouldn't pay $4,000 for a domain, guys. It's too much. You could get about, you know, at least 10, perhaps even 25 to 50 domains if you do your research well and use auction sites as well for the $4,000. You can have a nice network set up for that. So I wouldn't personally, I wouldn't pay $4,000. It's too much. If it was a real authoritative one, and I'd maybe look at paying $1,000 maximum, but I personally, I wouldn't go over there. I think it's too much for a domain for the purposes of what we're doing here. When there's methods to get them much lower cost, which we'll go over as well. Alright, but I want to go over these as well, because this is the fastest way to get an authoritative domain and get it built up, either as a money site or as the base site or as a sidestep site. So just keep that in mind, okay? So as you can see, the price difference here, I mean, you're looking at $100. There's one there, $700, 300, 100, 300, 800, 800, 300, 200, 200. Much cheaper than what we're seeing on here. I mean, that's a big difference. Just keep that in mind. Even payoff frees are quite expensive, but you could get some good. I mean, looks like a good one, but you would do more research obviously on logistic SEO. But this is the quickest way to use vendors. There's a lot more than these as well. I'm writing an ebook, and I'll put a few other places in there in the ebook that I'm doing as well as a bonus for anyone who bought NSF. But I'll probably end up getting all of the bonuses inside niche site formula as well at some point. Alright, let's have a look here. I just want to make sure that I've covered everything on what I wanted to cover basically on private domains. I think I've went over everything. You know, I don't want to keep it on too long here, because there's a lot more important videos that I want to get up. But hopefully you can get an idea. If you do use Pionate, or you go through my affiliate link, and I'll try and support you. I've got a good relationship going on with David now, and I've been using him for probably around 18 months or so. And I've bought around, I'd say about 100 domains off him over the last 12 months. So, and I'm actually in the middle of buying about 105 more domains off him as well. So he knows who I am as well. So you know, if he knows I've sent you, he'd be probably more inclined to make sure that he does give you good support. Okay, so if you go through my link, it's just probably better all around from the support side, because obviously David likes to keep me happy because he knows I'm a bulk buyer. Alright, so just another point to keep in mind as well. That's it, guys. I'm going to get on with the next videos now. On domain names, there's still a lot more I want to cover, and I want to talk about buying the money site as well, which I'll probably get onto next. Buying the money site is the same kind of thing as the base site. You would look for an authority, but you would really look into the links to see the kind of niche it's already in. If you find a very authoritative money site and it's got like 10,000 links going to it in the technology niche or the banking niche or something like that, it wouldn't really make much sense to stop trying to rebrand that for the health niche. So where we can, we would try to look for something closely related. It doesn't have to be related, closely related to the niche we're in, or doesn't have like tons of links. Let's just say it had 50 to 100 links in the banking niche and you wanted to do health. That would still be okay, as we would start sending new links to it anyhow. But the branding part of it, where the links are already gone from branded links, would be covered, so we could start peppering in different related money terms. Obviously we wouldn't do what we used to do, where we send the same text link over and over again. When I say different money terms, I mean different. We would vary them all up, and we would rank much quicker, and we would probably stay there for a long time too. Alright, well, I know I do on a lot of my sites anyhow, but I'm just going to give you everything that I know and everything that I do, everything that I use, and there's no crap, and there's no filler, and there's no fluff. So I know you're going to get value from everything I'm putting up as well, because it's based on what I do myself and have been doing for a long time. Alright guys, hope you're enjoying the latest videos as well, getting some really awesome feedback, had some really nice emails. One of them blew me away. One of the emails I got yesterday, it was a big essay about a guy, and he's basically being scammed over and over, and he finally feels that he's really into SEO, and he finally feels that he's in the right place now. So really nice to hear the emails, guys. Keep them coming in, because I read everything. I might not reply to you to each and every one, and sometimes there's delays on support because I'm dealing with a lot of people now, but I love to hear from everybody, and I do read you all. If it's an important question in regards to NSF and there's a problem, we'll get back to you as soon as we can, guys. Okay, really appreciate you all, and I think the group what we've got so far, there's 130 people in there now. I think the group is absolutely fantastic. There's some great people in there, so hopefully we can grow this to a big community, and just keep things the way they're going. Really positive, awesome to see, and I'll see you on the next video, guys.